Seiko has been on fire recently, releasing an endless wave of new timepieces, from limited editions to stunning reissues to brand collaborations as well. There's been something for every kind of collector. But this begs the question, with so many new timepieces on offer, which ones truly stand out? In today's video, we're taking a look at the best Seiko watches of 2025, the ones that truly caught my eye after checking them all out. For the purpose of this video, I'm only taking a look at the Seiko watches and releases which were announced in the past 3 or 4 months. And the one place I knew I could see most of these watches was the Seiko boutique, the Seiko Dream Square boutique in their founding location in Ginza, Tokyo. This is a one-of-a-kind boutique with 4 floors, each dedicated to a sub-brand of Seiko, like Prospex, Astron, King Seiko, or just the Seiko 5. And I'm so thankful I got to go to this boutique to shoot this video, because there are some boutique exclusive editions which you will see later in this video, and I'll try picking out my favorite as well towards the end. So let's get started. And before that, if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing to the channel, as it really does help pushing out more of these videos to a wider audience. But first, a question that I was asking myself, and probably a lot of you are asking as well: why did Seiko release so many new watches in such a short span of time? I think it's a multifold answer, because you have anniversaries, high-profile collabs, official timekeeping ties, and a product strategy which puts across multiple limited edition runs across multiple price tiers. To start with, Seiko is celebrating the 60th anniversary of its Prospex of its Prospex Diver range. So that has called for multiple heritage reissues as well as multiple special editions, which you'll be seeing in this video. Then comes the official timekeeping ties and collaborations. Earlier this month, Seiko announced the Datsun collaboration, which brings about 4 special editions for the Japanese market, 3 special editions for the international market. You'll be seeing that in the video too. And the Seiko Tokyo Athletics limited edition Speedtimer, which is also going on sale from the beginning of this month. You'll be seeing that in this video as well. Then comes the high-profile collaborations. I am, of course, talking about the Seiko Pepsi collab. The Japanese got there first, though the inspiration did start with Rolex, but Seiko did actually get there first. That has created a lot of buzz in the market, a lot of expectation. So I think all of this has been very methodical and intentional, and what we eventually see is there is a whole range of all new Seiko watches catering to different price segments. And what I'm trying to say is, it's hard to miss a Seiko watch if you are out watch shopping in 2025. Alright, enough of that. Now let's go take a look at some of these watches. I started off with the new Seiko Prospex 1968 Heritage Diver GMT, reference number SPB519. Back in 2023, Seiko introduced a GMT complication with their diver, and the new SPB519 continues that story with evolutionary updates. On the face of it, this is a good-looking timepiece which you could wear to work and for an actual dive, thanks to its 300-meter water resistance. What also helps its dive credentials is its clean white dial with the blue bezel combination and a cushion style profile for its 42mm case. I was genuinely surprised how well this watch wears on my slightly smaller wrist. Though obviously I still think a 6.5-inch wrist and upward is needed for this kind of diver. The Seiko 6R54 movement inside provides 72 hours of power reserve, and the stainless steel bracelet feels like it will take on whatever you throw at it. At around $1,700 US, I think Seiko is offering a great GMT and a diver combination with a really nice look on the SPB519, with the only disclaimer from my side being, do try this watch out before you purchase it, because as I said, it is meant for the slightly larger wrist thanks to its 42.5mm cushion type dial, which wears a little bit larger, and also this watch is a little bit thick as well, so do try it on. For those of you with a smaller wrist like me, worried about the 42mm case of the GMT Diver, worry not, because there's this beautiful PADI Special Prospex Diver which Seiko announced in June 2025, reference SPB501. The highlight of this watch is the emerald green case, which erased all my doubts about the color when I saw the watch in person. The Green Lagoon is one of the most wearable green dials to have come out this year, and the texture on the dial is so well done, and you can see it for yourself. It's a neat, everyday size Heritage Diver at 40mm with a slim 13mm profile and a comfortable 46.4mm lug to lug. So it wears smaller than you would expect, perfect for my wrist size too. It's also a serious dive watch with its 300-meter water resistance, and if you wanted to put less mileage on that sturdy bracelet, Seiko offers a braided fabric strap made from upcycled fishing nets, also in an emerald green shade, along with this piece. The PADI edition gets the Seiko 6R55 movement with 72 hours of power reserve. Though Seiko calls the emerald green PADI special edition a special edition, nowhere do they say that it is a limited edition. So my guess is that you will continue to see the emerald green PADI edition in the foreseeable future as well, for as long as when the next iteration comes out with maybe the new color. So it's not a limited edition by any means, but at the same time, I'm not sure how long this production would probably last. The SPB501 costs around $1,600, though if you wanted a cheaper alternative, you can still get the emerald green shade with the SRPL51, which comes with a slightly larger case, a lower end 4R35 movement, but keeps the price in check at about $600. Let me take a moment here to say that I think Seiko have done up their diver range beautifully, because if you are a value conscious buyer, you have the samurai editions of the Seiko Diver. I believe you had a blue color on the samurai, also announced very recently, that comes with the 4R35 movement, rather affordable $600 price tag, 41.7mm size, which is also a wearable size on the samurai editions. You have that on one side, and then on the upper end of the spectrum you have something like the, what was it again, the SPB 519 or the 511 with 300 meters of water resistance, a more upscale price of $1,600 to $1,800, but then the appearance is also visually more upscale. So what I'm trying to say is, I think it's very difficult to be unhappy or dissatisfied if you are shopping for a diving watch in the Seiko brand. And next up we come to the special limited edition Seiko Tokyo World Athletics Championship, whatever, limited edition Speedtimer. I'm not too concerned about the name because the highlight of this watch, of course, is the color. Seiko calls it Edo Purple, and depending on how good your vision or vocabulary is, you could call it purple or lilac if you want to sound fancy. I really wanted to check out this particular watch in person because I am a huge fan of the Chrono Speedtimer, the solar powered range, and I thought that the color looks beautiful on the press images, but is it going to be the same when you look at the watch in person? Is it going to be too light? Is it going to be just the right amount, or too dark? Because that's one of the questions that you have when a brand tries to experiment with a color such as purple. The verdict? Well, there is no escaping that this is a light hue of purple. It's not in your face, and that could be good or bad depending on your personal taste. I feel it's purple enough that there is a noticeable difference compared to the Panda edition, which you can also see in the frame. But at the same time, under certain light conditions, the mild hue of purple could make it come across as the standard Speedtimer, which is not a bad thing either. This limited edition Speedtimer, the SSC955, is limited to 6,000 units worldwide and is priced at $700. It carries over the specifications from the standard Speedtimer. Now coming to the upper end of Seiko, the King Seiko Vanac editions are now officially on sale, and I'm thankful that I got to see the boutique exclusive edition as well as the limited edition King Seiko Vanac at the Seiko Dream Square, as you will see right now. The SLA083 is the one in the middle, a proper purple inspired by a Tokyo sunrise. The SLA091 Extreme Right in light blue is exclusive to select Seiko boutiques, and the gold or brown SLA089 is limited to 700 pieces. First off, the design of these King Seikos is truly one of a kind, as they are throwbacks to models from the 1970s. You either love it or hate it, and myself personally, I think the edgy design combined with the lighter shade of the SLA091, it's a piece which is surely going to start a few conversations. Being a King Seiko, the quality is impeccable. The faceted integrated bracelet really does justice to this watch. It's a rather tall and largish watch though. Do not be fooled by the 41mm case size. It wears much larger than that. So definitely check this watch and try it out in person if you are thinking of a purchase. The highlight of the King Seiko Vanac has to be the movement, which is based on a Grand Seiko, the GS9S65, but is named the 8L45 for King Seiko's use. The movement is rated for 72 hours of power reserve and beats at 8 beats per second. All in all, this is a very high quality offering from King Seiko as is expected, while maintaining the price tag of $2,700 for all versions on sale. Sticking with the premium offerings of Seiko, let's move on to the Seiko Presage, because I cannot believe the prices at which Seiko is selling them. Once you learn more about them, you'll see what I mean as well. First, we have the Seiko Presage Urushi Lacquer dial, or the SPB519. The highlight of this watch is the dial, which is created by hand with Urushi lacquer. Therefore, it may have slight differences in color or minute distortions from other watches, and these are unique features of handcrafted Urushi lacquer dials, of which no two watches are exactly alike. Urushi lacquer is basically made from the sap of the lacquer tree, and both Seiko and Grand Seiko experiment with Urushi dials ever so often to come up with stunning watches. The SPB519 packs the 6R5H movement with 72 hours of power reserve, and at 40.2mm for the case, you would think it's a well-fitting watch, but the 48mm lug-to-lug does make it wear slightly larger than its dimension would make you believe. But what is easy to digest is the price. For a handcrafted Urushi lacquer dial, the SPB519 is surprisingly well priced at about $1,600. And if you fancy something along these lines but with a different color, you should probably consider the Seiko Arita Porcelain special edition, which was again announced this year, limited to 1,200 pieces. I believe the reference is SPB597. I couldn't see this particular watch at this boutique. I did see another Arita porcelain dial, which you're going to be seeing right now. This is the Japanese reference SARW049, exclusive to the Japanese market. But what a pretty watch with a unique dial offering at a sub $1,800 price point. Coming now to the Seiko Datsun collaboration, or the Seiko Datsun special editions, whatever you want to call it. There are a total of 4 editions on offer for the Japanese market, 3 on offer for international markets. We start with the SSC957, which is based on the Solar V192 movement. You get the Seiko and Datsun branding on the dials of these watches, and the middle links of the bracelet are black in color, giving the watch a racing stripe of sorts. The rear of the watch features an engraving of the Datsun 240Z replica with the limited edition marker. This reference is limited to 4,000 units and is priced at $990. For the Japanese market, Seiko will also sell a red dial version of this watch, which you see in the frame. The Japanese reference of this model is SBDL123, and the price is the same as are the other specifications. Then comes the mechanical versions in the Seiko Datsun collection. There's the mechanical chrono, the SRQ057, which looks like a neat racing watch and comes with the 8R48 movement with 45 hours of power reserve. The SRQ057 comes with a calfskin leather strap and is limited to 500 units with a retail price of $3,200, which is very steep in my opinion. And I guess Seiko is really riding on the 500 unit run to sell this watch at this price. The back of this watch gets a rather plain Datsun branding, which really doesn't do justice to the price in my opinion. The final installment in the Datsun edition is the SPB519, which is also the new addition to the Prospex Speedtimer range. This is one of the best designs to come out of Seiko in recent times, and I love everything about this watch. A nice 39.5mm stainless steel case, an inner rotating bezel, and a 72-hour power reserve in the Seiko 6R55 movement. The Datsun version of this watch is limited to 2,500 pieces at $1,190, but I'm actually interested in the new Prospex Speedtimer based on this design, which is going to be available for sale from September 2025 and has nothing to do with the Datsun collab. The SPB 513 and 515, as they will be known, look spectacular with their stainless steel vintage style multi-row bracelet. They will be sold at about $990, and I can totally see myself as a fan of these speed timers over the SSC solar powered range. Though the solar powered models get a chrono feature at a cheaper price tag. What are your thoughts on the speed timer range in 2025? Would you get the solar powered V192 at a cheaper price tag? Or would you get this new design Prospex? Is it called a Prospex? Yeah, it's called the Prospex speed timer without the chrono feature, but with the mechanical movement and of, I believe, a fresh retro design, if that makes any sense. Which one would you pick? Let me know in the comments below. Now, before I can wrap up this video, I feel there are a few mentions which need to be made. The first was the Seiko Dream Square limited edition, the SRPL 91 and the SRPL 93. Both of these special edition watches were limited to 9999 pieces each. I'm told that the allocation for Japan was only 1,000 units and they're sold out. Good luck finding these watches in your country though. From the design perspective, I think these were very, very well designed Seiko watches, which maintained the sort of fun quotient of what a watch should be, yet at the same time they didn't go overboard with the price, and they still offered a good quality bracelet, decent movement, and most of all, these are watches which wouldn't break the bank yet would offer you the feeling of wearing something distinct or something new. The second, of course, is the Seiko Pepsi collab. These watches are due to be on sale from September 2025. How you feel about these watches is pretty subjective. I think some call it pretty lazy. Like, why would I want to have a soda maker's name on my watch is, I think, a valid question. Yet at the same time, at the other end of the spectrum, there are a lot of people who see these watches as being fun quotients and fun aspects, or maybe like limited edition collector items. Which spectrum you fall under is completely your choice, but at the same time, I do feel like Seiko is doing something to keep the momentum going. Again, these are going to be limited edition watches, I believe, limited to 7,000 units each. They're going to be priced at $630 for the 42.5mm Pepsi Black, or $450 for the classic Pepsi bezel, which comes in a 38mm case and a bracelet. That kind of summarizes all the major Seiko announcements from this year, which were noteworthy. I'm so glad that I got to go to the store and try out some of these watches, especially the emerald green PADI edition, because I think it's very different seeing this watch in a photo on the internet versus actually trying this watch out in person, because the photos don't do justice to this watch, and you could say that about a lot of watches, I guess. Once the new Seikos go on sale in September, especially the Pepsi collab and the new Prospex Speedtimer, I do plan on going to the store again to try out these watches. The Prospex Speedtimer especially has really gotten my attention, and I think if I like what I see, if I like what it feels like, maybe, just maybe, I think I see a new watch purchase upcoming. Who knows, I could blame a new watch purchase on some, occasion. I'm pretty sure I can find a reason. So definitely also be subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss out on those updates. But let me know which Seiko model you like the most. As I already mentioned, for me, I think it's the new Prospex Speedtimer, but I'm curious to know which design you would pick off the lot, or is there something that I've missed in the 2025 announcements? Thank you so much for watching. Take care.